Thanks for tuning in to Electric Bike Journal. We've got a new one from Gazelle, the EasyFlow C7, a Dutch-designed commuter e-bike that is all about comfort, ease, and daily usability. This doesn't look like the typical offering from Gazelle, but if you're looking for a dependable, upright-seated, comfortable riding e-bike, then this is definitely something that you want to pay attention to. Let's talk about what the EasyFlow C7 has spec-wise and what you're going to expect when you are riding this bike. The EasyFlow C7 is a Class 1 e-bike with pedal assist up to 20 miles per hour. It is built around a mid-drive motor, which is the Shimano EP5 motor, which delivers up to 50 Nm of torque. The battery is a 504 watt-hour Shimano battery that is integrated onto the frame. It is also removable and it has smart battery management. It comes with a Shimano display for controlling assist modes and viewing ride data. On the component side, it has a 7-speed internal hub gearing, the Shimano Nexus 7. It has hydraulic disc brakes front and rear with 160mm rotors. It has 24-inch wheels with Schwalbe Big Bend Plus 24 by 2.15-inch tires. For the stem, there is an adjustable stem, which is the Gazelle Switch handlebar stem. It has integrated LED front and rear lighting. There is also a rear rack with the mix system that is rated up to 59 pounds. A lock on the rear wheel to help keep this bike secured. Front and rear fenders to keep the debris or water off of you. The bike comes in weighing around 55 pounds and has a 10-year warranty on the frame and 2 years on the battery and the electrical components. Here in the US, the starting price for the EasyFlow C7 is $3,999. We've had the EasyFlow for a bit now and have a better understanding of who this bike is for and why they built a bike like this. As you can see on this bike, there is a very low step through down there. It's kind of that long area at the bottom is very easy to step over. So when you're getting on this bike, super simple. You don't have to lift your leg up super high or anything. You can I'll just show you right now. Just kind of step over like that. Super simple to get over the bike and to get off of it. Now this was designed for riding around a town or a city where you might have to be getting on or off or stopping a lot, or if you just have a harder time stepping over a mid-step, or even some of the low step bikes can be a bit higher than this and definitely aren't able to make it over a standard crossbar. The EasyFlow makes that super simple. As you can see, the pedals are a little bit forward, not as underneath you. So you're kind of leaning back a little bit more. It kind of feels like you're on a lowrider bike or like some kind of beach cruiser like that. But that also lowers that seat a little bit, so it is easier to get on there. I mean, I'll just show you again, but so easy to step over this bike like that. You can just lean back, get on the seat, and gonna trust the kickstand here, but you can see the body position. Legs are a little more forward and you're nice and upright. So that makes for a super comfortable upright ride that most people are going to be able to ride, and you don't have to be a super serious cyclist to get comfortable on this bike. Another feature on this bike that makes it easy to ride and more accessible to a lot of people is that adjustable stem. Right now, I have it in the highest position, so it's all the way up, so I can be as upright as possible. But if you're shorter, you can lower this much lower to make it kind of feel like one of those Dutch bikes that have like those big bars that go back there. It's easy to do. You just have this adjustable stem up here, pull this locking mechanism up, and you can see you can drop it very low, so you're kind of cruising on like one of those little old-timey bikes that you would see back in the day. But for me, I liked having it all the way up, adjusting the bars to where I feel comfortable for my brakes. Very easy to adjust on the go, lock that right there. The seat is also pretty comfy. It is one of those wider seats. I usually don't like the wider seats, but I didn't really have any issue on this. I went on about a 15-mile ride and wasn't feeling the soreness that I get from a big seat like this. I will talk more about how this bike rides in the POV section riding that I do on this bike. But just to give you a brief overall, the Shimano EP5 motor, it does a great job. It gives really smooth pedal assist. It's pretty quiet as well. And with that larger battery up there, you're gonna get a good amount of range in that low pedal assist mode. If you look at the computer there, it'll give you a range estimation. I put about 32 miles on this bike without charging it, and I still had 2 bars left. So you're getting a good amount of range Now, this is designed for a commuter that is going to be riding in a city or someone just running some daily errands on it. Things that do benefit this bike for those situations is it does have that rear rack that you can put, you know, a decent amount of weight back there. So if you could definitely put a full grocery haul on the back there. It does have a lock that is integrated on the back that you can just lock that rear wheel when you take the key out. Other things that are integrated and come with this bike that make this a really nice commuter is it does have the front headlight and the rear light that are integrated onto the bike. Always good to have those. You're never going to worry about leaving your light behind. And it has a bell as well as a side mirror so you can see what's going on behind you. The Shimano Nexus 7-speed hub has a good range for those flatter areas and some rolling hills. When I did take it in the steep terrain, you know, I could do it no problem, but you were putting in some work. Definitely was helpful when you were getting into those steep hills to use the higher pedal assist mode. Gonna use more battery, but that just goes without saying. It didn't shift as fast as having a regular cassette in the back. Might be just with that hub gearing that it takes a little bit more, and it wasn't really that great when you were doing it with load, like if you're pedaling and you shift, kind of had to slow down a little bit. But it's always good not to shift when you're under full load anyways. So just something to note, when I was riding, I just didn't want to shift when I was under full load. It didn't like to shift that well. So I would kind of shift, let it ease up a little bit and catch up to that gear, and then I could continue to pedal when I needed to. Looking at the specs of the motor and seeing that it only has 50 Newton meters of torque, may seem like this is only just built for the flats, but I did take it up a steep hill and it did a lot better than I thought. It wasn't flying up the hill like on some of the bikes that have 90 Newton meters that I have, or even 100 Newton meters, but it did a good job in those higher pedal assist modes. And it really did excel when you were on that flatter terrain, keeping it in that lower pedal assist mode. It was nice to just cruise. I was easily cruising on the flat terrain around 14, 15 miles per hour in the lowest pedal assist. That's gonna give me the most range, and going that fast really is enough if you're just gonna be commuting casually. After riding the EasyFlow C7 for a bit, we definitely see who this could be for, and that is for the person that is having an easy commute, or even just a mellow daily rider. They just wanna go for a cruise. This bike was just easy to ride. Also very comfortable with the adjustable stem and that low ride height. You can get on and off this bike very easily. If you're somewhere where you have to hit a lot of stop signs or stoplights, that's very helpful. If you are a shorter rider as well, easy to get on and off the bike. You don't have to worry about tipping over or anything like that. And with that rear geared hub, you're gonna have less maintenance. You don't have a cassette that you're gonna have to worry about if it gets all grimy. It's all geared internally. You do have that chain, but there's a nice big cover on there. So should be keeping a lot of that gunk off of your chain, which will, you know, definitely keep that maintenance schedule down a little bit. For some, the price point of $3,999 may seem pretty steep for a bike like this that isn't an off-road aggressive rider, or, you know, doesn't have tons of bells and whistles on there. It pretty much has the basics, just a little bit more of what you would need for the daily commute. But this is a nice bike overall. It has a really nice premium feel to it. The welds are really nice. The bike just feels nice and solid. You're also getting really nice components with the Shimano EP5 mid-drive motor. You're getting a Shimano battery and some nice brakes to go with it. Also, Schwalbe tires, can't go wrong with those. Also, if you're getting this from a Gazelle dealer, you're gonna be buying it from a bike shop that knows what they're doing. So with that price point, you're gonna get it from a shop where you can test ride it, or you can also take it back there to get service or if anything's wrong with that. Some final thoughts on the Gazelle EasyFlow C7. Definitely changed my perspective a bit from when I first saw it. When I first saw the press sheet, I was like, that's definitely different looking for Gazelle, and wasn't really sure how I was going to enjoy it when I was riding the bike. But after getting on the bike and enjoying some miles on it, I do understand who they built this bike for. The EasyFlow C7 might not be for everyone, but there definitely are people out there that would really enjoy this bike. Here's a little ride experience video where I take the EasyFlow C7 back from a grocery run, talk you through what it is like riding this bike. Out for a ride on the EasyFlow C7, just doing a bit of a grocery run. I've got it loaded up with the Ortlieb bags on the back. Going to take advantage of this nice day and show you what it's like riding this bike. So one of the first things you notice on the EasyFlow C7 is that low standover height. And that is really beneficial from getting going from a stop, or if you have to make frequent stops if you're running a bunch of errands. But the pedals are a bit more forward than on like a city bike. So you definitely feel in a much more cruisy position, but that brings you a little bit lower. So getting a foot to the floor, or even both feet if you really want to, is very easy, and it makes for a stable position when you're stopped at a light. And it's just nice for those people that don't feel too comfortable just leaning over and standing on one foot, or if you're getting going, stopping and going a lot. It's just nice to not have to deal with the top tube of the bike or anything like that. But yeah, this Shimano motor, I'm just in the first pedal assist level out of the 3, in a relatively flat road right here, but gives you like just the right amount of assist to just be cruising. I'm cruising at 15 miles an hour right now with, very minimal effort, but feels good. And 15 is a good pace if you're just going around town. You don't need to be going faster. I mean, people like to go faster, but for who this bike is targeted for, I think cruising at 15 is very solid, and gonna maximize the range that you're gonna get out of this bike. Right now, about halfway through this battery, and the range estimation says 23 miles, so that's pretty good. I've already gone, 18 miles. So you're gonna get a good amount of range if you keep this thing in the lowest pedal assist mode. But to go a little quicker, just put that thing into the second pedal assist mode, and we're hitting 17 miles an hour. Yeah, we got a little bit of a help from this downhill, but being in that second pedal assist mode is gonna be helpful for us going up this little climb right here. Not a big one, but you definitely would feel it more in that lower pedal assist mode. And this has the Shimano Nexus 7-speed hub. So all of that shifting is getting done in that hub. It's all internal. And you got this little twist throttle on the right where you can pick between those 7 gears. And seven speeds totally works for flatter terrain. Like this, if you really want to get going, could push this thing up to that 7th hardest gear and put down some more effort, and you'll easily hit that 20 mile per hour limit of what this bike will take you to. And this Nexus is the system isn't my favorite that I've ridden. Maybe it needs to get tuned up a little bit, but I know you're not supposed to shift under like a crazy amount of load, but maybe I'm just used to that on some of my other bikes where you can shift with a little more load going down, but it seems to like you definitely have to back off to get it to shift, or it's just I'm used to shifting a different way, different system, gotta learn how to shift with it. But it feels like when I shift into a harder gear, if I'm pedaling hard, just stop for a second, let it get into that gear, then it'll get to where I want it to be. But yeah, now that I'm in the hardest gear, putting in some more effort, I'm at that 20 mile per hour mark in, just under 20 mile per hour mark in pedal assist 2. Putting some effort in, but definitely would be a lot harder without pedal assist or even in the first one. But yeah, so let's get this. I put it into the 3rd pedal assist mode, which is the highest mode, and I definitely don't have to work as much. You can feel that the second it drops into that low 19 range, gives me that little boost to get me up to 20. I'm in the hardest gear as well, so it knows I want to go fast just from the input that I'm putting into it. So the Shimano motor in here does have 50 newton meters of torque, so not the most, it's somewhere in the middle there, but it feels good on this flatter, a little bit of rolling hills. We'll see when we get up to the big hills how that feels, and I'll probably have better thoughts about that once I'm tired lugging my groceries up the hill. But yeah, getting to a stop, easily put a foot down, can make a complete stop. Just a very, very cruisy position that you're in this bike. The handlebars also have a lot of adjustment on the stem here. Right now I have it at the tallest position, just because for me that's where I feel comfortable riding. Still in a very uprighted seated position. It does go lower, and I've had it lower, but it doesn't really work for me. But that would keep your hands down much lower, and you're really gonna be cruising at that point. But yeah, in this third highest pedal assist level, the range dropped to 14. So losing, you know, good amount of range once you're going into that higher pedal assist mode. And if you're just cruising on this flat, you're not in the biggest rush, I don't see any reason to really be in anything but this first pedal assist level that we've got. Was a little downhill. Definitely good to save some of that battery while gravity is helping us move forward. When you get up to those higher speeds, you know, over 20 miles per hour, it does still handle well. It doesn't have too much twitchiness going on to it. It's very, very smooth and planted, which you're gonna want for the person who's gonna be buying this bike. You don't want a twitchy, super reactive bike for someone that's gonna be just easy cruising around town. I think for the lower speeds, the bike handles well, and it's kind of made for like that city style riding where you're gonna have to go in some tighter spaces, maybe hop on the sidewalk, because I'm going over a very narrow bridge and I think it's safer. But you know, the lower speeds, it does handle well. Being that you are low to the ground, you can always drop a foot, help you get around something. But it's nice that it's fairly compact, so getting through some areas is definitely easy to do, and you're just not taking up as much real estate. It does have a few things that help riding in a busy area, like a bell and a rear view mirror over here on the left, so you can see what's going on behind you. That'd be helpful on a bike path or something too, so if you need to pass someone, you don't have to turn your head all the way around to see if there's anyone there. Take a look in that. Then you can go around someone or see if anyone's coming faster than you're going. But yeah, nicely thought out accessories to help you in a crowded area. So we're getting to the hill that I gotta go up to get to my house and show you how this Shimano motor does. 50 Newton meters of torque in pedal assist 1, the first, and you know, second easiest gear. The hill's just starting to pick up. I know I don't have far to go, and I know this hill is some work to get up. I'll do a little downshift there. But yeah, starting to get steep already. So in the mellowest pedal assist, definitely some work to go up this hill. It's not very, very hard. Definitely some work. I can feel it in my legs, but I know I'm close, so I'm gonna get into a better pedal assist mode. So we're going like 7 miles an hour there. Clicked it up to the second pedal assist. Cruising at 9 now. Definitely a lot easier. You know, if I wanted to really blast up this, I would just keep it in the highest pedal assist mode, but you gotta see how it goes in all of them. Right now, the second pedal assist mode, 10 miles an hour now, so a lot better than it was before. Still a gradual climb for just a bit, but actually the torque, you know, 50 Newton meters torque, doing a good job, and you feel it
when you putting that power down on the pedals. So it's gonna give you what you give it, and it'll do it. Well, it's the last little pitch. Put this in the highest pedal assist mode. Range definitely dropped, but that's to be expected. But now, a lot easier, not having to put as much power down and going a little bit quicker. So this isn't gonna eat up the hills like some of those bikes that have 90 newton meters of torque or a giant motor. But if you gotta go up some steep pitches, this is definitely capable. If you had to do this all day long, it would be a little bit tough with the position that you're in, but still pretty comfortable, even with your legs a little further than normal. I prefer that in pedal assist 3 all day long, just to get that hill over with. But pretty good job for climbing up a fairly steep hill.
Thanks for watching this video on the EasyFlow C7. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you go ahead and do that. Helps us grow and continue to make content just like this. See you in the next video.